The National Electric Code requires that any outlet near a source of water, such as a bathroom, a kitchen, or a garage, or even your front porch, requires that you have a GFCI receptacle, a ground fault circuit interrupter.
So maybe if you have an older house, you might not have those already installed.
And this house really isn't that old. It was built in 1999, but here in my master bath, I don't have any GFCI receptacles. These are just regular receptacles. So today we're going to install one, and it's very easy to do.
So how do I know if I already have one installed or I don't?
Well, everybody knows what a standard receptacle looks like. And if you have a GFCI receptacle, there's always going to be a test and a reset button on them. You should always turn the electricity off at the breaker panel before you work on any type of electrical device in your home, and we've already done that.
Well, it looks like you've got two sets of wires on that outlet.
Yeah, one is your line in, which is for your power source, and the other is your load, which is going to the second receptacle. And if you have two receptacles in a situation like this, the GFCI receptacle has to be the first in line. That way it protects both the GFCI location as well as the other receptacle in the room.
So if I have a kitchen or a bathroom, I don't need to have a GFCI outlet on every single location.
No, it just has to be the first in line from the power source.
Now that you have two pairs of wires on this one, how do I know which is the power source and which one leads to the next outlet?
We have all the wires completely separated, not touching each other, and we're going to be very careful to turn the electricity back on and test which one of these sets of wires has the power coming out of them. Using my voltmeter, I can tell that there's no power on the top set of wires, and this bottom wire has power to it.
Okay, so you've turned the power back off and you're ready to install the new outlet.
The two terms you really need to make sure of here is line and load. Line is where the power source is, so that's what this connection will be. And the load is any other receptacles that are in line, which is this set of wires right here. The black wire, which is your power wire, goes to the darker screw. And on the other side is always a white screw, which is for your neutral wire.
So with those two wires hooked up just like that, that switch is good to go. You just don't have power to the next one.
Right, if I was to just leave it at this, then this receptacle, this GFCI receptacle is powered. I'm just not transferring it to the next receptacle. White wire onto the white screw. Black wire on the dark screw, or the gold screw.
So if I've got an older house, I may not have that copper ground wire coming through the wall.
Now typically on these older houses, they only have a two-prong receptacle. That means that a ground wire probably isn't present in the wall. And adding a GFCI outlet is a great way to add protection and bring the house up to code.
But I don't get it. If there's no ground wire, how is this adding any safety?
Well, a GFCI outlet works a little bit differently than a traditional breaker. What this does is it measures the voltage coming out and in the return, which is your neutral wire. And if there's a difference, then it trips the breaker. So if you have power coming out and you drop something in the sink, it's not going to return into the neutral. It will detect an unwanted current flow and trip the internal breaker in here.
So basically, if I was to drop something electrical into a sink of water, it would shut off the power even quicker than the breaker box would.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is just a brief overview of installing a GFCI just to show you that you can do this.
Now, as with any electrical project, be sure to know and understand what you're doing before you do it. If you'd like more information, click the link in the description below, and I'll fully explain this in more detail.
Yeah, if you're unsure about any of this, certainly consult a professional. Okay, I'm ready. Can we test it out now? Ooh, it worked.
Obviously, I'm not the first one who's ever done this, so if you have done this, have any tips, tricks, or anything you've learned along the way, leave them in the comment section below.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your own experiences, and you can help out other people watching this video too. And please subscribe to HGMM and become part of our team.